All right, hello and welcome back to For St. Keep Safe. This is our Voices of Equality series, the podcast where we deep dive into the issues affecting the LGBTQIA plus community in Pinellas County and beyond. My name is Christian Hotchkiss. I'm the president of the Stonewall Democrats of Pinellas County. And as always, I am joined by my fabulous vice president for political action, Laura Durkin. Laura, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great, Christian. I hope you've had a really good week. I'm really excited to get into our episode today. We've got our first interview for the day, and we're calling this our interview part. We're calling this politically. What did we say we're calling it?
Politically speaking, this is when we just open it up and we talk about the politics of the day and get into the deep dive.
Yes, that's what I thought, but I was like, oh gosh, what did I forget? Anyway.
It's all good. Yeah, so this is our new series, a new segment, Politically Speaking, where it's basically just our interview portion of the podcast. So I'm pretty excited about this. Today we have two amazing guests from Drag2Talle. I'm going to may get corrected on this, but as far as I'm aware, it's a nonprofit organization created by drag entertainers for drag entertainers to combat anti-LGBTQIA plus legislation and support the community. So today we have Lilith Black and Ericka PC, two of the original founders of Drag2Talle. Ericka, Lilith, how are you?
We're good. Pretty good. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week, I can imagine. And we're going to get into it because you guys are currently up in Tallahassee for the Pride at the Capitol, I apologize, and lobby days right now. So we're going to get into all of that in just a bit. So thank you both so much for being here. It really means a lot that you guys are our first guests, excuse me, on the show. So let's start with the basics. For those who may not know, tell us a little bit about Drag2Talle and the incredible work that you're doing to fight against anti-LGBTQIA plus legislation here in the state of Florida.
So Drag2Talle was founded in 2023 in response to a lot of Randy Fine's anti-LGBT bills. We were mostly fighting against the immense targeting of trans individuals and gender non-conforming individuals, as well as drag entertainers. We saw a lot of support that year and decided that this was an opportunity we wanted to share with the rest of our community.
And to add on to that, like originally when we started off with Drag2Talle the 9, which also included Angelique Young, like we went up there originally like, we're going to go save drag. And then when we got here, it literally exploded because we found out of all these other bills that we had no idea that was going after the trans community. And drag is literally off the trans people's backs. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, going back to the root of drag, like that's the number one thing. And that's really kind of where the name came in, is like, we're drag, we're going to Tally, and we're definitely going to do what we need to do to get things taken care of and speak up against these injustices.
Yes, it took a while for some people to catch on to the fact that drag was a scapegoat. We were never really fighting for the right to do drag. That was never what was truly being attacked. It was the way that they hid the fact that they were starting to outwardly go for the trans community. And that's how we became what we are today. Drag2Talle is us dragging you to Tallahassee. We are drag funded, drag founded, and drag led.
Exactly.
Awesome. That you guys summarized that so good. I love that. I love that last tagline. That's perfect. As obviously we've been living in the world today, things have gotten significantly more. They've just been accelerating, especially since 2023, and especially in this year. Is there what specific legislation are you guys up there lobbying for or against in this session?
Yes. So this plan of action, we have started to research in advance. Now it's year 3, so we were able to get the bills that we had to focus on. We knew when and where to go, and also who is in these committees. This trip, we were targeting Bill 440, which was an anti-trans at work bill. We're calling this Don't Say Gay Year 3. This time it was limiting the protections for trans people in the workplace, attempting to make it so that it was unlawful to punish employers or employees for wrongful misgendering or even intentional harassment using gender as a shield for transphobia. We were also
And
fighting
training.
against two anti-DEI bills. These ones were 1710 and 1694, both targeted DEI in workplace and government, trying to make it so that anything that was made to help a specific group of people that is not everyone is considered to be DEI. Unfortunately, certain groups like the queer community, like people of color, they have oppressive structures built against them that these initiatives are only trying to make up for. If these oppressive structures did not exist, we wouldn't need these initiatives.
Exactly.
We're just trying to protect our last defense against entire communities being torn apart.
Exactly. Awesome.
Absolutely agreed with that. And the fight against DEI is so much more than that. Like you said, DEI is a scapegoat for what they're actually trying to do.
It
They're
is
trying to erase so many people and marginalized communities, especially trans people of color, trans people in general, but specifically trans people of color. This is going to affect so much worse than anybody else.
It's
So-
not only affecting the trans community, but also cis people are also being misgendered when they're going to the restrooms.
Mhm.
And that's something that we are able to, you know, speak with legislators about as well. Like there's so much misinformation when it comes to these bills that they're trying to push, and they can't even say what it actually is going to change in anything. So it's really kind of crazy because they couldn't even explain like what it really did.
Yeah, you're right, Christian. In that way, these are distractions to keep from facing the real problems like the insurance crisis in the state of Florida, the housing affordability and now food crisis that we are facing, zip code differences in accessibility and allocation of resources. These are things that we have put in place to make sure that communities don't go under who have faced discrimination throughout the entirety of American history. It started, yes, about save the drag. We are always going to fight for our trans community, but queer people exist in every realm. So whether it's attacks on disability, whether it's attacks on DEI, it affects queer people. It shouldn't have to affect us for us to care about, but if it needs to, that is a plenty good enough reason for the entire community to come out and fight, not just for us, but for everybody.
It's really these people that are writing these bills. It's a huge. They're literally just they're doing it for a power grab. It's exactly what it is.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
and it's harmful. It's disgusting, and we will not stop calling it out. And I think it's really powerful and amazing that you guys are using drag as not only a form of entertainment but as a form of resistance. You guys are my drag sisters. I am a drag performer with you. I got into this fight. I started drag just after Drag2Talle, or just before Drag2Talle in 2023. Eric and I actually started together, and it's been an amazing ride. And you know, having the opportunity to go up there and fight this fight with you guys has been absolutely amazing. Of course, you're absolutely right. This legislation doesn't just impact drag performers; it harms the entire LGBTQIA plus community, marginalized communities in general. So let's talk about how people can get involved. Drag2Talle has been creating awareness through performances, but how can our listeners help in this fight?
So really, right now, it's making sure that we're all coming together, having conversations with each other, supporting one another. And then if you want to get involved, reach out to me or Lilith. We have been reaching out on social media platforms, and right now our biggest thing and that we're pushing is to get on the bus. And right now that's the biggest support. For 2 days, we've been up here and we have gone through it emotionally, mentally, it's been exhausting and draining. And on top of doing all this, we're also trying to get people on the bus. We still have about 30 seats available. So that's the biggest thing right now. What we need is we need y'all at home. We need your support. Like the bus leaves tomorrow at 3:30 from Southern Nights Tampa, and there's no charge to get on the bus. Yes, there is parking. You can park for like $10 in Ybor City. But that one big thing that I'm pushing for right now, and I know you want to say something as well, but like that's the biggest thing in getting involved. Like it started from the beginning is get on the bus, because once you get up here and you experience it, your whole world changes. You learn so much, and you learn from the connections that you make with the people that you meet. It's a great networking opportunity as well to really just get to know people in your community and who they are.
Absolutely. The other way that you can help is by engaging with what we're doing up here, share our stories, share our experiences so that other people will know, hey, anyone can come up to their state capital and speak on these bills. What we do is we use money to pay for transportation and housing for our volunteers who want us to go up there. But if you're not in Florida, if you are not in an area where you have a service like us, and you are able to get some friends together, go to your Capitol building, sit in on these bills, even if they won't let you speak, your presence can make waves. A lot of what we do is just taking up space, taking up time, and making sure that people know that legislation like this does not go without hurting anybody, and it also does not go unpunished on those who pass it.
And literally, we started with a carpool. Like we all went up there in our cars. The Drag2Talle truck at this point is the nickname on my vehicle. But a lot of memories have been made in that truck. It really, like the bond that I have with Lilith, it's insane. And with any of the original Mind, the Drag2Talle members, like that first year, we really got to know like the raw parts of ourselves and our emotions. And that's what it does. But like you have a sense of community, but like the sense of community that I have with this one here and everybody they meet, we really pour our hearts out into it.
It's beautiful because we we were blessed to run into a ragtag group that were just the available people who wanted to go up there. And we got that experience, but this year we got to see a whole new group of people get that experience themselves. And it was a bigger group full of impassioned, intelligent, passionate, thoughtful people who really care about the community that they're representing, about each other. We got to watch them come together in a way that we don't often get to see at home. We are in a community that often looks at itself as a competitive space where there are limited opportunities, and we don't often get to come together to forget all that,
right,
and to focus on what is important to each of us.
That's a huge thing, I just love our community in general, and the experiences that you get to speak with these other people. Like I'm gonna have a comment here, like about last night. So we got this huge Airbnb. Like the funding did that from
it's
for me. It's for me in my house.
Yeah.
Girl, I would feel like I'm rich. Like I feel good. It's bougie, not really. It's very practical. But anyways, the fundraising did what it needed to do. So 12 people could stay under one roof. So that way we could all sit at a table and have a conversation. Me and Lilith talked about this, and we literally went through at the end of the night after Lilith made a fabulous dinner. And her partner Anthony, it was amazing. I didn't even expect it. I'm so forever grateful because so many memories were shared at that table. 10 Truths and a Lie, we learned a lot about each other. There's a lot of ups and downs with it.
But it's all possible because of donations. Us doing drag paid for, as well as, of course, our incredible supporters. We have organizations that we will definitely be shouting out
for sure.
Later. But we have so much support, and we got not only funding from drag, but we had people who donated food for the bus to help get people fed up there, food for us to make for our people who are here for 3 straight days, getting up at 6 a.m. every morning to get in drag. Like, we need to make sure that we are, as organizations, not only doing the work, but taking care of the people who are not getting paid to be here. They have no reason to be here except that they want to make a difference. And if we can make that experience that much more pleasant for them, we're going to do absolutely everything we can to.
Awesome. You know,
It's quite amazing
actually,
to see.
oh, sorry, Kristen. That was actually, I was
just wanted
gonna
to follow
say,
up. Yeah.
ask what, like, how the community has been responding as far as supporting you. And it sounds like you've gotten, I mean, it's not like I don't know. I see you guys out and performing, and you're amazing. And you know,
Yeah.
and people love to support you guys, your art, because it is art. It's so fun. So I know I've seen that support, but I'd love to hear like some of your sponsors. We'd love to shout them out and
Yeah.
give them some love too.
Yeah, so the biggest shout out, honestly, right now, and I'm not gonna say biggest, but the last most generous donation was with Winter Pride. They helped us ensure that we had that bus, and we were short, and it was not by a small amount.
Yeah.
And they made sure that they pulled through and worked with Angelique and me and Lilith, and they got that money to us. And Equality Florida also helped in that way as well. So that bus is there and it's taken care of, and it's an amazing thing, you know.
Yes. We're definitely grateful for most of the people who have helped take care. We're of course grateful for all of the people who have helped take care of us. But I only most might have been a Freudian slip, because the truth is we actually haven't gotten nearly as much support
As we
as year one. Last year we didn't have a bus to get people up at all. We sometimes had to do benefits the week of just to be able to pay for gas to get there and back so many times.
And Lilith, really, you were the one that pulled that through.
Thank you.
You know, that's like mad props to Lilith last year, because it's a lot to come up here, you know, especially when you have a regular 9 to 5 job and it's in a corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's hard, and Lilith really like took it by the horns and ensured like they went and fought against these bills, you know. We did have a bus for the march,
Yes.
last year, and that was again like it's with Equality Florida fundraising, you know. I don't remember where we stayed.
We have
It was a
taken
lot.
now let's see, over a dozen trips up to Tallahassee.
It's crazy.
Over these couple of years, most of which, actually several of which, we've stayed in multiple locations, because sometimes we just have to stay an extra night. They don't let us know the schedule until they say 3 days in advance, but sometimes
It's 24 hours. Like,
Sunday we will find out we have a Monday meeting at 8 a.m. and we are currently in St. Pete. Like,
and Tampa, and that's happened to the drag bill. Like that, literally, they called us. They let us know at 8 o'clock we need you here,
and
we got in our cars and hauled, and we literally painted ourselves in the cars practically. I didn't even have my makeup. I literally left my entire makeup tray
Yeah.
in a box that I still have. It was sitting on my carport and on my coffee table, and I got there and I'm like, as we pulled into the hotel, I was like, I don't have my makeup, and Freya had to paint me.
Yeah.
And like that's the type of like those unexpected moments of hectic mania of like, oh my god, what are we gonna do now? And then like they come in and like, I got you, girl, you know. And it's like that type of like it's insane, and
It's girlhood.
it's so cool. Yeah, it's like the moments
Absolutely.
you have with each other on this trip. My daughter Fondi,
Yeah.
like I met her on that first year bus, like, and we're inseparable, you know. It's just the connections that have been made
Yeah.
every year.
Christian, several of your close friends you met on the bus up the first year. Like, that's what we talked
Absolutely.
about.
Where we met.
Yes.
You're one of them.
Absolutely. I met most of you guys through that Drag2Talle bus. I met a lot of you guys through that. And we've mentioned it loosely here and there, but I do want to point out, just to go in a little bit of detail, the march that we're talking about, as of this recording, it is the March 19th, but the march that we're talking about is tomorrow, March 20th, on Thursday. It is the Let Us Live rally, and it starts at Adderley Amphitheater in Cascades Park in Tallahassee,
Yes.
Florida.
Yes.
And we will be marching straight up to the steps of Tallahassee. Again, that will be on March 20th, 2025, just to give that for future reference when people are rewatching this.
And this one here is the bus lead.
Yes, I will be getting on the bus at 4 a.m. Or actually, I'll be on the bus a little earlier, but we will be taking off at 4 a.m. right from Tampa up to Tallahassee. And I will be painting myself on that bus. Can you see how excited I am?
And then we get to be seen in daylight.
The crazy thing is like I was literally contemplating like, should I put myself in face or not?
This morning, yeah.
This morning I was like that. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then I was like, am I gonna do it tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I probably should. It's tradition and it's crazy because it really helped me with just makeup in general. Like you have to get yourself up on no sleep. Like literally, I didn't sleep the first night. You didn't sleep the first night. I did not get any sleep at all. And we had to go to the Capitol and we got ourselves together. And this morning I had literally got myself in 1 hour full drive.
Yep.
And I looked better than I did yesterday. I was so mad.
I didn't say that, she did.
Oh, I knew it. I saw it. Like I was like, damn, man, I look so good.
Well, I'm definitely very excited for this, and as unexcited as I am to paint on a moving vehicle, but I am definitely very excited to. I'm excited to be there with you guys tomorrow and March, because we need to bring awareness to everything that's going on.
We have about
There are power outlets on the bus too, so if you need a mirror and stuff that you can plug in, you can do that. But I did it on the bus in the back in the bathroom. Last year
from the pros.
Yes.
Tips from the pros.
Nobody used it. We told that's a number one rule when you get on that bus. You tell them whatever you do, no number two. I'm going to fight you. Don't do it because doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go out the street. It's not It's going to go into the bus. It lingers. Don't do it. It will linger for the entire trip. Do not do it. Do not
ruins
on
the
our
trip.
bus. Let everybody know. Do not poop on our bus. No pooping.
No,
I will be sure to. I'll lay the law down.
I'll put it in the chat too.
Well,
no pooping.
This has been quite fun. I've loved this conversation so much, and I want to keep the fun going. So we have another segment that we call Shout Out or Shut Down. And this is where you either shout out a positive in the political sphere for the week, or you shut down something negative. So I am going to go ahead and start with a shout out to an individual in a very red and Republican state. He was an older man. He was about 67 years old. I cannot remember for the life of me what his name was, but he was in a super conservative state, and he was listening to people talk about these anti-trans and anti-LGBTQIA bills. And he was there originally to speak for those bills, which were very anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ. So he did not agree he agreed with those bills passing. So in his speech, after listening to so many people speak for about, I want to say it said 6 or 7 hours, he got up and went to the microphone and said, I am so sorry. Today I have listened and I have learned, and I'm so grateful for that. I came here in support of these bills, but I'm leaving against these bills. And it truly goes to say, it proves the point that the words that you speak are powerful when you're just speaking your truth. A lot of people just don't understand. And I think it was really empowering or really impactful to see a man say, I just didn't know. And sitting here listening to you guys, I've learned. So thank you. So that's my positive shout out for this week. And my advice to everyone is just have more conversations, have more open and honest conversations.
That's literally, I'm going to let you talk because I'm going to cry. But yeah, you do that because I've been an emotional wreck today. So,
it's been a long week, which we will tell you about in our shutdowns. Definitely. But that's what we do this for. We bring up we have a team of about 20 plus group people, just like, and that's just our group.
The Bay Area showed up. Like we had like 25 people, and 25 people showed up, and that's it. Like that's the shout.
That's not for
And it
March.
wasn't
That's to
the full
be
2
there.
days. They usually leave in the second day, and they were all there again. Like we had an entire dinner with all these people. Like there was like 14 people here, and and Lil was cooked, and it was like it was insane. And Alice Marie Grip, we got her, him, the as a leader, and we made a great team because me and Lilith, we've been here. We know our way around the Capitol. We know who we want to go and talk to, So we were able. Our group was so big. It was the biggest they've ever had. There was over 400 people that showed up in the auditorium in this huge theater, right? And they had to have a second room for viewership for the people that showed up as well. It was packed. That's how many people drove up and got taught how to lobby, learned about the bills, and spoke up at the hearings. The hearing that we went to, over 1,000 people filled out hearing cards to speak against the bill.
Yes.
And
That
literally,
leads us to our shout out,
Yes.
first one, which is all the people who showed up. This was the biggest turnout for Pride at the Capitol ever. We got almost 2,000 speaker cards turned in, and in this shout out, let me tell you exactly what that means. When we heard those 3 bills that I told you about earlier, we had so many speakers on the first bill that these other 2 did not even get to be heard. They got pushed off until next week. And we are going to keep doing that. If these bills don't get passed to voting and a final vote, both in the House and in the Senate, by the end of legislative session, it cannot go into law.
and what bill was that again?
This was Bill, this was 1710.
17.
So this was one of the anti-DEI bills that we were fighting
At
against.
work.
This was mostly targeting medical practices.
Medical practices, anything that's government funded, that they get grants. So universities, they get grants. So if there's a DEI program at that university or that community college, and they're like, well, nope, you're not getting it. And they're like, but they couldn't, that's the one I was like, they couldn't explain, oh, well, it won't affect Black universities.
Right.
Well, then what's DEI? And that was the whole thing. They couldn't give us one instance. And this guess who it was that was the chair of it?
Who?
My good old friend Randy Fine.
Which is our
Of
first
course.
shout. Yeah.
The drag bill. That one.
Randy Fine is back. All of that was just to become the chair of the governmental oversight
Because it's
committee.
all been a power grab. And that's why earlier we said a power grab. And so we literally grabbed our hearing, like we filled it out. I was like, we got to get there like 30 minutes early. So we fill it out. Literally, he calls up me, and then directly after to get in line, Lilith. So I'm like, okay. And like, I'm listening to this. One of the reps that what rep was it that was asking all the questions? It was fantastic, and she kept challenging.
I feel really bad because it starts with P. I'm so sorry.
It's on public TV, but she was amazing. But she kept like, what? Give me an instance where this will go somewhere, right? So by the time I get up there, I have a thing. Randy Fine, like, yeah, we have a thing because he literally posted when I first started in that first year about me on his Instagram from a newspaper. Yes. And it was like these clowns, da 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 da. And I was like, hi, Randy. It's me, Ericka PC. I think we know each other. He's like, yeah, no, and interrupted me. I'm like, yeah, I schooled you on the drag bill where I had to teach you between drag shows and pageants and the difference, which the entire time, like, he's interrupting me, which I thought I had 30 seconds to speak, but I didn't. And I was like, well, and he was like, is Ericka PC your legal name? I was like, and drag, yeah. Like, I go by Ericka. Like, that's my name. And I'm in this form. But as I'm trying to explain it, he's interrupting me. And it's like, we gave you a moment to speak, but then when it was my turn to speak, and you get 30 seconds. So it's like, hi, my name is Ericka PC from Tampa, Florida, and blah, 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 blah. And literally I schooled you about drag. I'm going to school you now. And he goes, that's it. You're done. And I went, really? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh,
Cuts her mic.
cut my mic. And I walked out and I was like, I don't know if I can cuss, but I'm like at the bar now. I haven't had any drinks, but I'm crazy. But no, literally, as I'm walking, I'm like, and I right in the back of my head, I was like, and Lilith is right after me.
Right.
Go get him, girl. I was like, and now it's you.
Luckily, we make a pretty good team.
Yeah.
That's why we come up here with a group like we do, because they try to pull these moves to make it harder on us all the time, and we have to have people to fight back. Which brings us to our next shout out, which is the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Yes.
While this bill was being heard, they did not have either audio or visual for the waiting rooms. So people did not know what was being spoken about on the bill while they were waiting to speak. They weren't even told what bill was being spoken at a time. So people did not know which bill they signed up for when they were going up to speak sometimes. They started checking IDs, but not for everyone, interestingly enough.
Yeah. I got mine before then.
Became
It was crazy.
bit of a riot, and people were upset, people were sad, people were angry, and the entire time we had 3 of our sisters. We had Wana Reaction, we had Aura Babylon, and we had Sister Wanda Eat a Shroom. They made sure that everyone felt protected, that they felt safe. They covered every inch of these waiting rooms and went from person to person and made sure that the community felt taken care of. And we've seen what it's like when we don't have that. We see what it's like when we just have a room full of anxious, hurt people. And when I tell you their presence made a difference in
And blessings they gave. They were giving blessings. And they're saying, start the day with love. Live the day with love. End the day with love. And that's exactly what they did.
They also handled a lot of aggression, criticism. People responded very strongly to the presence of what they felt to be a mockery of faith, when in reality, the sisters started what they did because they were inspired by what some American Catholic organizations do in their charity work. They were inspired to show what good can be done by any group of nuns, be that religious, queer, or otherwise.
And they're not nuns. They're a nunnery.
That way.
No, they're a nunnery. And they spread joy and love and acceptance. And for wherever you are, who you are, it does not matter if you're cis, if you're non-binary, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Latino, if you're gay, if you're straight. They want you to know that they love you just the way they are, and that's really what they did. And even when they had criticisms, they literally said, well, bless you, and you are forgiven for your lack of
Compassion.
not compassion. It was like negligence and knowing and knowledge, because all they had to do was ask, but they were like, I want you to know that you're offensive and you're going to hell. And they were just like, well, I love you and I pray for you and like bless you,
I love that.
It was, and I was like, yes, that is like killing them with kindness.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it's like other people, they came in and they were able to talk about what the sisters do, and they got to get a lot of unnecessary trouble. So it's necessary trouble, actually. Necessary trouble to be seen, and make that difference and spread the word about love.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a awesome place. You guys did a nice little like compliment sandwich where you did a shout out, a shutdown, and a shout out. So that I really liked how that works. I think that leads in good to mine. Mine is a complimentary, like it's a simultaneous shout out and shut down, based on, an interview I heard this morning. I was on Chris Hayes' pod or show last night. He's an MSNBC host on with Chris Hayes. He had a in-depth interview with Chuck Schumer last night. And that's the shutdown portion. That I mean, if you haven't watched it, I would definitely
Yeah.
go back. I would definitely highly recommend looking it up. Chris
We've
did
been
a
there.
really good job of
That's crazy.
yeah, Chris did a good job of really holding him and like making him say the things. And I think it was just a really good, interview of letting someone just go and hang
Big humble.
themselves out to dry and yeah, and give themselves their own shovel. So,
You're doing it.
it's also a shout out to like, I think it's the future. I think we're getting ready to see some major turnover, I hope, in the leadership of the party. So yeah, that was my combination shout out and shutdown.
I just want to point out that Chuck Schumer is in 2028, when he is up for re-election, he will be 78 years old. So hopefully he'll recognize that it'll be his time to step aside.
We would
Hopefully he'll recognize before then. But nonetheless, I gotta say this has been really, really fun. I love you both so very much, and I want to say thank you so much for coming and speaking your truth and giving us the rundown on what's going on. I know we're running low on time, but before we wrap up, is there anything else at all you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, like where we can follow you on any social medias if you do that,
Yes.
Drag2Talle socials, all that good stuff.
Yes. So Queen Ericka PC. So Ericka is spelled Ericka. Queen Ericka PC on Instagram. Then I also have my Ericka PC fan page on Facebook as well, so you can locate me there and at the garage on the second floor Saturday. I do want to leave one piece with this is speak with your local legislative representatives. I'm from Tampa. I got to speak with Valdez. I've been having issues with Hurricane Milton. I've been having issues from Helene, and she is going to help me. Like she was where she's at. Do I necessarily agree with switching parties? No, I don't. But there are resources out there that I didn't know we had. And like you can definitely reach out. And I want people to come out and reach out to their current representative in St. Pete, because they are also Republican, and let them know what real issues we have. Because ultimately, whether you voted for them or not, they have a job to do.
Yeah.
So hold them to it. So if you need help with the devastation, like I literally have been crumbling all day because I finally have like a sense of relief. Possibly, hopefully, we'll see.
Yes, even if they don't agree with you, they have a duty to do their job for you.
And if they're not, that's well,
That is just something that you can do against
we
them.
we have a platform.
And we plan on using it. We are going to talk about all of the things that we experienced. There was a lot more than we were able to share. Unfortunately, they have gone hard in just being very vocal and very against everything that we stand for. They're not afraid. They have been, especially Randy Fine, blatantly making fun of speakers while to their face while they're at the stand as the chairperson.
Congratulations.
So what I will share is
Horrible.
be safe. Protect yourself, your spirit, because while what we do is important, and being up there and looking them in the face to tell them what they're doing is so important, it is physically, emotionally, and spiritually exhausting to be in a space like that. It is hard to look at a group of people, hear hundreds of people testify, and have it just not seem to matter to anyone sitting up there. It is not something that I want anyone to feel obligated to go do. There are a million ways that you can help your community. There are so many great organizations. Wherever you live, I promise there are people around you that you can get in contact with to
especially in
something good.
CP and in Tampa. There's all kinds of organizations.
Like us. Drag2Talle is spelled DRAG, the number 2, and then TALLE.
And then what was your social media?
Mine is the Lilith Black, THELILITHBLACK. Everything.
On all the socials.
Everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all so much for
I
speaking
wish I
with
was.
us. It's been so great hearing about your stories. And, I just hope you when you're done and take your time, both of you to take time to rest and recover because we need we need y'all, but we need y'all at healthy and happy. And that's
Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Reach out to us.
We will
Lilith, Justine, Christina Morris.
We will be back here not just for the bus, but also throughout legislative session. We are bringing back teams to continue to target these bills. So if you want to support us in what we do, get in contact with us. It is not just monetary support. It is not just coming up here that matters. We do fundraisers locally that you can help out with just by showing up and sometimes lending a hand. The biggest thing that you can do is volunteer with your local organization.
Yes. We love you. I can't wait to see you guys.
Absolutely.
Give you a hug.
Yes, we'll be back and we will rest.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing. And to our listeners, of course, get involved, stay informed, keep fighting for equality. Like I said, you can learn more about Drag2Talle by looking up Drag2Talle on social medias, also Queen Ericka PC on Instagram and Facebook, and the Lilith Black on Instagram and Facebook as far as what she said. This has been another episode of For St. Pete's Sake, our Voices of Equality series, brought to you by the Stonewall Democrats of Pinellas County. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, change starts with each of us, and together we can make a difference.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
See ya.